Well, g'day guys and welcome to this clip. Now this one's going to be a little bit different to my usual vlog style. This is more of a tippy style video, and it's specifically to do with fishing the Greg Whitehead fishing challenge. Now I spoke to Stu a little while ago and he suggested that I put a video together which basically will give you guys a bit of a leg up, people that don't know the dam very well, just to get a bit of an idea of what sort of lures work, what sort of areas and things like that. So I thought, you know what? The boys and I were lucky enough to win it last year. We fished this place a lot and I am more than happy to help anyone out there try and catch more fish. So this is just going to be a bit of an overview of that sort of mid to late August here at Burrinjuck. Now there is going to be some variables depending on what the weather actually does for that weekend, but we'll sort of just cover the basics and go on from there. Now if you are looking for more information after watching this video, I really do suggest that you guys get onto the social fishing membership. socialfishing.com.au. Check the website out. I'll put a link in the description and a little blurb below this video here now. We will have also at the comp, we'll have a banner with a QR code up there so you can scan it for more information. But really, if you want some really detailed information, fishing maps of the entire lake, where the hotspots are, the dead zones and things like that, plus my monthly report, 2 weekly updates, honestly, get on there, check it out. You can just jump onto the page, just have a bit of a browse through, and if you want more details or you want some more information on it, just hit me up. I can send you some links that will give you a bit of an idea of what that website looks like. So for the Greg Whitehead comp, it's going to be cold. We've had some really miserable years. I really hope that it looks like it does out here today for that comp, because it is absolutely glorious today. The boys and I have been out on a morning session, followed by, well, after our night last night, we've had a little bit of a camp out in the bank here. We caught a couple of good cod. That video will be coming out shortly. Nice cracking little session. I thought, well, while we're here, we were actually going to go this morning and head off. We're actually going to stick around and do another night session this afternoon. Probably not a real late one. But while I'm out here, let's sit down and give you guys a bit of an idea of what you can use up here in August for the Greg Whitehead comp. We'll start at the bottom of the ladder with the redfin. Now what I've got here is a little curl tail plastic, pinkish in colour. They are really deadly on redfin in wintertime when they're just skulking along the bottom. Usually fish them, I find a lot of them, last year we caught them down in the main basin. I find them a lot sort of sitting out in 6 or 8 metres of water on those rockier sort of banks, right hard against the bottom. The other option is they will sometimes come up to the edge if we've got this sort of weather, if those edges are slowly heading up. But that there is a really good little lure for them. Anything in that style, they can be fussy, but at the end of the day, they're really not. The other thing I've got in my kit here is a ZX40. Again, another really good lure. TNs, yeah, not my favourite redfin lure. They do work here sometimes. But that's probably going to be the basics. Another one there is white. Now redfin up here really like white, and that one there is a really good option for them. So, well, I don't have to get another jig head out because you can see that one there. That's on a Bassman jig head. You don't have to buy Bassman jig heads. Any 1/4 ounce jig head will do. I've got a few different types here. 1/4 ounce, I think that's about a size, I'm going to say a size 1 hook on that with a 1/4 ounce or a 1/6 or even an 1/8 if it's really shallow. That's going to cover your redfin. Look, they can be scattered all out throughout the dam. You can troll them as well. I like to troll fairly deep diving lures in a red or a pink or something like that. That's another really good way to get them. And if you catch one, sort of stick around that area because you're probably going to get another one. Now we'll move on to the golden perch next, and these guys are going to take a bit of adapting depending on the weather. Again, glorious sunny day like this, they're actually going to push up onto the edges even in August. Yep, they'll push right up on those rocky banks. A dark coloured rocky bank north facing that catches a lot of sun is going to be a key spot if it's sunny like this. just into the Bidgie Arms, there's some good examples of those. Again, if you jump onto those SF maps, you can check out the maps there. Some of those rocky banks there, perfectly north facing, they get the sun most of the day, they heat up, and those fish are going to push right up into only a couple of feet of water. I like to sort of fish those areas in about that mid-morning sort of a time. It can be a really, really key zone. If they move up there, they are going to be on fire. Generally speaking, Burrinjuck is known as a tree dam, and we use curltail black grubs here all the time. That's an example there of a black curltail grub. Absolute dynamite. They work all the time up here. Standing trees on the edges. It doesn't really matter where you're sort of fishing them. They are probably the most versatile lure you can use out here. If you are targeting trees, I like to sort of fish trees anything from say 10, 12 metres deep. During winter time, they can sometimes sit a little bit shallower, and they do like to also gather onto the edge on the laydowns that are on the banks as well. Again, it will depend on what the sun's doing. If it's a disgusting overcast day, you want to stick to the standing trees. Black curltail grubs, drop them all the way down, slowly, and I mean slowly work them up. If you get a tap on that tree, hang around. If you don't, give it 5 or 10 minutes and move on. Obviously, if you're running live tech, you're going to be able to see those fish responding, but I'm generally going to run through these tips here as if you're not, as if you're just running, say, a traditional sonar. Deadly. Edges, sunny, late autumn, mid-autumn, deadly again. Chuck them right in tight, and I mean sort of cast them within a foot or two of the water. Give them a shake up, let them drop back down again under tension. Shake up, drop back down again. Bang, you'll get plucked that way. But that is it. That is the black curltail grub, the most versatile yellow belly lure probably in Australia, but definitely the most versatile lure here at Burrinjuck any time of the year. Of course, if they're really fired up, your T&60s are another option, and your ZX blades are another one. And of course, your soft fibres. Not that one there, that's actually a cod one, we'll get onto that one next. But your sort of 100mm, 80mm version of those, another one that's really, really good. I probably prefer them over the rattling style most of the time, unless it's sort of late spring and they're really firing. Areas that I like to target yellers in, I like to get up into Macy's Bay, the edges of Scrubby, sort of either side of Scrubby, the Goodra Digby Arm, anywhere where you've got a nice stand of standing timber is a good area to sort of get on and start sort of trying to track them down. So they're really, it's a bit of a matter of moving around until you sort of find where they're hanging out. They will congregate in small schools during winter time, but you just sort of keep moving around, have a bit of a go here and there, and until you pick one up, and then just sort of circle around that area, because that's probably where you're going to pick up most of your fish. So the third and final category, which is the big fish of the lake, is your Murray cod. Now, winter is prime time for Murray cod. The trouble that we have with this comp is we don't have a lot of prime Murray cod wintertime fishing hours, because most of my fishing for Murray cod up here happens in the dark. So comp kicks off 6:30 in the morning. If you're fair income about trying to catch a big winter cod up here, you need to be ready on the water to grab your key tag at 6:30 and gun it. Gun it to the nearest spot where you think you're going to be fishing, and fish straight away. Some of the options for big cod are the Jackal Garnier. That one's got a chin weighted on at the moment. If we are having good weather, I probably wouldn't worry about the chin weight too much. You can just straight roll them off the edge. At most, you probably go a 1/4 ounce. That just sort of gets them down just a little bit. Another good option for Murray cod lures is the 220 Fury. Now that one there is rigged as a line through. And if you have a look at that nose, that there has already seen quite a few fish. Killer lures, there's a new range of colours out on them. That is one of them. That is called the Meter Magnet. Again, that's a line through. It's got a internal weight sitting in the nose there. Ping it into the edges, roll it out, past the standing trees, roll it out just nice and slow. You don't want to be moving that thing too fast, and you're going to get crunched. The other one is, again, we're going to talk about those lures will work. If the weather's ordinary, it's going to be tough to get a cod no matter what. If it's decent weather, they'll work. If it's really, really good, if we get a cracking week of warm weather leading up, those soft fibres along the rocky edges are absolute dynamite, and you will catch Murray cod during the day on a soft vibe down the rocky walls. They might not be the big monsters that we sort of target of a night time, but it probably won't matter too much, because if they are firing, those things are absolutely deadly. That's a pretty big one. You can drop right down. You can get them on 80, 90 mil lures as well, but soft vibes down the rocky walls. Cast them in, shake them, and just pendulum down like that, shake again, and away you go. Awesome, awesome lures for late winter, as long as we get that warmer weather that's going to bring them out and push them up onto the edges a little bit. Rocky banks, timbered laydowns right up on the clay edges as well is going to be a good spot. So again, the river arms are probably going to be a good area to target them. There are little places like Carroll's Creek or McPherson's Creek, McPherson's Inlet up near the wall there. Sort of fishing on the edge of, say, where there's a rocky bank where it rolls onto a clay edge is usually a pretty good area to target. But you can, plenty of fish up into the Goodra Digby and the Murrumbidgee river arms as well, keeping in mind that there is a boundary to this fishing comp at the junction, where the junction of where it leads up to Ulgalo, or it spears off to follow up to the rest of the Bidgee Arm. So that's sort of the cut-off boundary there for where the fishing's going to take place, but there is so much water down this end, you don't need to be travelling up there anyway. That's a bit of an overview, guys. If it was me, when I come to comp time, I do fish really, really hard. Like I said, we were lucky enough to take it out last year, and we fished through the absolute rubbish weather. We fished from 6:30 right on time to go. We were ready on the water, rods, reels, lures are all set out, ready to go. We hit the cod early, we managed to get one fish. We then moved on to chase yellowbelly, and believe it or not, we actually caught the last redfin to fill our bag with 5 minutes to go on the clock. We were right down in the main basin. We could see the marshalling area up there where everything was set up from where we were fishing, and young Henry, who's out here with me this weekend, nailed the last redfin that filled our complete bag for that. So that's sort of how we run it. Cod early, get stuck into them as early as you can, followed by your yellers. Your yellers will bite all day, but probably not so much in the morning. They're probably going to be sort of 10, 11 o'clock onwards, right through to the 3:30 knockoff. And again, the redfin are going to be exactly the same. I hope these tips help you guys. Like I said, if you do have any questions, please let me know. But if you want to be up there at the pointy end, you've got to fish hard.